I'm super excited today because I'm going to talk about an Ayurvedic daily routine. Um, Super excited because this is something I know like the back of my hand. And there's a lot to talk about here and to unpack because I feel like, and coming from experience, that when we are given a recommendation or a guideline or even just, yeah, a suggestion, I feel like we as an I tend to want to do it like perfectly and like the best, better than anyone. Now, that is a personality trait, so not everybody has that. Um, but I have fallen victim to this for sure. Um, I started following yogic philosophy back in like elementary school. And yeah, I really looked towards yoga and the yogic philosophy as a way of living a better life, of finding my true north and just finding a better way. Um, yeah. So I felt like I had to do it perfectly. And it encompasses a lot. It encompasses your health, exercise, diet, routine. Um, yeah, and not just that, but like holding myself accountable for my actions, my words, my thoughts, my wants, my needs, my desires. Like really feeling like I had to follow this strict role in order to be good enough or in order to heal. Um, and it's this path of enlightenment, this path of just kind of purity. And after living so many years feeling like I had to do it all right, I most recently I've been like, oh my gosh, I'm a human being. I am not God. Like, I get to not be perfect. I get to not do it perfectly. And like, what a gift. Like that gave me such grace and so much openness to be able to love me for who I am and the things that I want to do that aren't on the enlightenment path, and saying, and that's okay too, because that's also part of me. And and again, I'm not God, or I am not, we're all God. We all have God, the divine, the higher power inside of us. But I am not, a fully enlightened being. Um, or the Buddha, um, or anything like that, and trying to hold myself to such rigid um, walls was really suffocating. So, that being said, I just want you to take this conversation with a grain of salt. Like, it is just a guideline. It has, it's not a value system. It is not a judgment stick. Like, there is nothing else to this other than ideally, this is what you would do on a daily basis to keep your body in check, um, to keep your health in balance. And that being said, our bodies are constantly changing with the days, the seasons, the weather, the cosmic cycles, the internal cycles, emotion. Like, we're constantly changing. So even if you did your life perfectly, and not even that, but according to these guidelines, like a robot, you would still experience fluctuations in your emotions, your health, all the things. And that is why we do yoga and meditation, so that we can be the observer and smile and go, yeah, I did. Yeah, and that happened too. Yeah, and that's okay. And I'm learning from that. Anyway, so let's get started. So let's talk about the beginning of the day. So in the beginning of the day, we in Ayurveda recommend waking up by 6 a.m. Why is this? Well, because you go back to the previous day and you want to get to bed by 10 p.m. So you look at your nighttime for the previous day. Why do we want to get to bed by 10 p.m.? Because we want to we don't want to digest our food. We want our body to detox between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. So in order to get this house cleaning service done during those hours, we want to make sure we're in bed by 10 p.m. How do we get to bed by 10 p.m. when we're used to staying up till 11, 12, 1, 2, whatever? Well, baby steps, first of all. And a good way to do it is start moving your dinner time earlier. All right. So the earlier you eat, the earlier your body digests that food and starts to get tired. So again, maybe 20-minute increments if if you need to get on and 11 o'clock, okay. 11 o'clock maybe is more realistic for this day and time. Some people I know go to bed at 9. I pretty much always in bed by 10. But anyway, okay, so 10 o'clock bedtime, body's detoxing for 4 hours. You wake up in the morning at 6, preferably naturally. That's 8 hours of sleep. Normally a body will get up at 8. I'm sorry, 8 hours later. So 6 o'clock you wake up. Ideally, you do some yoga, meditation, get maybe a nice 20-minute walk in, do some tongue scraping with a copper tongue scraper. They're like this. It's like a triangular, flattened piece of copper. And that helps get the remaining toxins off your tongue, as well as it's antibacterial. So I'm not sure if you've heard this, but whatever is going on in your mouth is also going on in your gut, and it actually comes all the way out the other end. So you're one full tube here, okay? So, you're healthy here, then you're healthy here, and you're healthy here, and vice versa. So yeah, just cleaning off your tongue. You can do some gandusha, which is gargling with oil. Typically it's coconut oil. Can also be sesame oil. And that is called oil pulling. So the oil pulls the toxins also out of your tissues in your mouth, and then it also helps with gum disease, and helps to whiten your teeth. And careful if you have any lesions in your mouth. Don't just pour oil on that. Make sure you get that taken care of first. Okay, so this is your morning routine, and then you would have a nice, easy to digest breakfast, maybe around 8 o'clock. Something like oatmeal with some cinnamon, cooked with cinnamon and maybe some raisins. Another really nice breakfast is stewed apples. Oh, they're so delicious. I just had some this morning. So basically you just put a little tiny bit of water at the bottom of a pot, and you peel the apple, because the apple peel is harder to digest. I don't always peel the apple. because A, I'm lazy. B, I don't want to waste food. And C, I kind of like the peel on the apple. So, but anyway, um, put some cinnamon. You can put cardamom. You can put ginger. Any of those spices you can put in the pot. Turn it on maybe medium high. And you can even put some raisins in there if you like that. And then you cook it until the apple is not like falling apart into applesauce, but just kind of like easy to punch through with a spoon. Maybe getting easy to punch through with a spoon. And then sit down and eat that, and it tastes like apple pie. It's wonderful, and it's super easy to digest. So what does that mean? That means that it ignites your metabolism, gets you through the morning, and like and preps your body for lunch. And if you're hungry, which is likely, if you just eat a stewed apple, that you're going to be hungry before lunch, you can have a piece of fruit or whatever. Or even some soaked almonds without soaked skinless almonds. Or you can peel the skin. I know that sounds really time consuming, but it's actually pretty fun. I kind of got obsessed with it because you soak the almonds with the skin, and then the skin like kind of buckles around the almond, and then you can like squeeze out the almond from the skin. Anyway, it's fun. Don't take my word for it. Give it a try. Okay, so there's your breakfast. And we're eating an easily digestible breakfast because it's early morning, or it's morning time, which is kapha time. So your digestive system is not full throttle yet. The sun is only like midway up from the horizon. So that's about as strong as your digestion is. And then when the sun's highest in the sky is when your digestion is the strongest. So that is around midday. So then you would eat your biggest meal for lunch, okay? So biggest doesn't have to be like you're eating for 5 people. Biggest is mostly just in terms of heaviness. So if you like cheese, eat your cheese at lunch. If you like meat, eat your meat at lunch. Yeah, heavier foods, okay? Okay, and then we're in Pitta time. Pitta is transformation. Okay, it's a dosha, and it's made of fire and water, and it's known for transformation, metabolism, for heat, penetration, and it's the hours between 10 and 2. So interesting, huh? We just talked about 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Okay, that's also Pitta time. That's when you're also doing this transformation. You're detoxing at night. And then in the daytime, it's when your body's transforming all of the nutrients that it's eating into the smaller elements, and assimilating all of those nutrients into all of your tissues. Okay, so let's move on. And during this time, you don't want to exercise. I mean, okay, if you exercise on your lunch and that's the only time you have, great, whatever. But because it's the hottest time of the day, if you experience any kind of pitta aggravations, like skin issues, for example, try not to exercise during the pitta time of day. Yeah, best to exercise in the morning. And we can talk about exercise in another video, because there are also exercises that are best for each dosha, vata, pitta, kapha. Okay, so we've got the middle of the day. Now let's move towards the afternoon, evening. So we've gotten through the kapha morning, the pitta midday. Now we're going into vata time, where there's like creative energy flowing. This is between the hours of 2 and 6. And this is a really good time to do like creative projects. Excuse me. Yeah, a really good time to get work done. Not a good time to nap after lunch. A really good way to avoid feeling tired after lunch is not a coffee, it's to take a walk. Take a walk after lunch, 10, 20 minutes. Doesn't have to be a fast walk, shouldn't be fast because you're digesting your food. But I'm telling you, every time I take a walk after lunch, I feel like $1,000,000. I feel like a bird. It's amazing. Um, I get energy, I get clarity. I just, yeah, it's like being in nature allows my body to like be natural and digest and yeah, it's like this complete assimilation. Like the food's assimilating into my tissues, and like nature is and I are assimilating and exchanging energies. Okay, so Vata time 2 to 6. Um, and then let's talk about dinner. So what we want is an earlier, lighter dinner. Now, I'm not talking like a bowl of soup for dinner at 6 o'clock and nothing until bedtime. Like that's probably too light, right? Because that's already pretty early. So so for example, if you can't eat dinner till 8, great. Have a bowl of soup. That'll keep you that'll hold you over until you go to bed. Um, and it won't still be digesting after 10. I mean, as long as it's not like a hearty beef stew. Um, so yeah, so earlier, lighter dinner. So basically, a full satiating meal, but just not necessarily having meat or like hard cheeses. Um, yeah, basically that. Um, yeah. So I like to be done with dinner by 7. That's kind of like my cutoff. Um, Not hard and fast anymore. I was finishing dinner by like 7:20 the other day, and I was like, and that's okay too. God, that feels good. Whereas in the past, I'd be like stuffing myself, like scarfing it down so fast so I could be done by 7, and then be like, well, that wasn't enjoyable at all. So anyway, um, so an earlier, lighter dinner, and then after dinner, you can, if you have kids, play games with your kids. If you don't have kids, you can do some kind of a hobby. You can go on a walk again, um, read, call a friend, paint, meditate. Whatever is nice and calming. You can light candles, turn on some music. Just enjoy the evening that you have now between dinner and bedtime. I I love to play with my son after dinner. And I feel like it's a really important and special time for us. And I get to watch, yeah, just, I'm a little obsessed with him, as I think I should be. Um, or I'm allowed to be. Oh, neither of those. Yeah, as I feel is appropriate. So, sorry, I just don't like shoulds. And what was the other thing? Oh, allows. I don't think anybody, yeah, you're always allowed. Yeah, and then we do bath time usually, which is always really sweet. And then, brush teeth and all the things. So even chores, if you got laundry to do or dishes, yeah. Just, it's a nice time to slow down and just kind of, yeah, revel in the delight of a wonderful day that was just had and the transition into a slumber. So, yeah, and then, to point out or to touch on here is also no screen time an hour before bed, because the screen, it was once said that it's like millions of, what was it? Not millions of beams of lasers shooting into your eyes, okay? So that's super stimulating, right? So whether that's TV or your computer screen or your cell phone, like it's super stimulating. It doesn't matter if whatever you're watching isn't stimulating, like just staring into a screen it's really activating for your eyes, which are right next to your brain, and like you're stimulating this pranic energy, which we don't want to be up here, right? We're going to bed, we want to get grounded, we want to like turn that off and go like in and down, okay? And so work on uh, turning off screens by 8 or 9 o'clock at night. You'll see a huge difference. And instead of screens, you can turn on like an audio book or read a book. Um, just play with those things, see what they feel like. Or, if you like magazines, maybe pick up a National Geographic or something. But yeah, there's just a huge difference between reading from a book versus reading also from a screen. Um, anyway, baby steps there, and just like take notes. When you try something different, just be aware. Like, how do I feel? How does this feel? Like, okay, probably. Maybe it's hard to say yes to this and no to that. Maybe it's not hard. How does it feel? It's actually, wow, I can feel the difference. Anyway, yeah, just observe. Be an observer. This is your life. This is your experience. It's nobody else's. So you will stick with what works for you and what you notice a difference in. Um, and it's undeniable. Like, I have seen such drastic effects of um, the things I've been talking about. And then I'll be on track for a while, and then I'm like, yeah, I think I'm making it up. So then I'll go back and I'll start doing things that I've done before. I'll read, or I'll be on my computer late at night, and then I'm like, crap, I can't sleep, or I'm waking up at 3 in the morning, and it's like, oh yeah, because because this stuff does work. Anyway, but don't take my word for it. You be the experimenter, the scientist, set your hypothesis, see if you can, see if you prove it right or wrong, or whatever. Um, yeah, just enjoy the process. Um, so that essentially is an Ayurvedic day. And it has everything to do with the sun, where it is in the sky, um, what to, what to eat, how to eat, when to eat, exercise, um, little routines like tongue oil pulling, and obviously brushing your teeth. Um, yeah, exercise, walking. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I would love to hear from you if and when you do any of these practices, how you felt, and anything else. So you can always respond to me in the comments below, and Instagram, Facebook, my website, Care by Kelsey. I think I'm Care by Kelsey across all mediums, all platforms. All right, enjoy. Happy living.